Yeah, so here last time I think we stopped here on this section where really the messenger arrived, and he was trying to tell um, Jocasta and Oedipus really the news about how he found him, and and I think he mentioned this in I think in a clear way last time. I think I stopped somewhere here when I think he was speaking. The messenger was speaking to Jocasta, saying that Oedipus should go back because his father is dead, and he must go back to become a king. Of course, the man here or this messenger has no idea that, of course, the whole thing is he doesn't know that he's now a king here in Thebes. Anyway, so here you can see that both really Jocasta and Oedipus were a bit shocked to know about the whole thing. Notice here, I don't know, I stopped here last time. Let me read this here. He asked him here. Notice, I don't know, did I stop here or maybe after that? Or maybe you don't really remember. Yeah, I think I stopped somewhere here. Anyway, the messenger was saying that he came from Corinth, as you can see here. I'll give you the message in a moment. You'll be glad of it. How could you help it, though it costs a little sorrow in the bargain? What can it be with such a double edge? Messenger, the people there, they want to make your Oedipus king of Corinth. So they are saying now. So notice here, the messenger is, coming from really Corinth, where supposed to be Oedipus is originally coming from, or he is the prince in that kingdom. So in Corinth, and the man here, or this messenger, is saying to him, you should go back because your father died, and then they want you to be the king. And that's here the idea. And Jocasta said, why? Isn't old Oedipus still in power? No more. Death has got him in the tomb. What are you saying? Oedipus dead? Dead? If not, if I am not telling the truth, strike me dead too. Jocasta, of course, thinking that Oedipus, about the oracle, now she thinks that the oracle was then false, because now we know, or at least at the moment we think we know that Oedipus his father is Polypus, and now his father is dead. Therefore, Oedipus did not kill his father, according to this, of course, discovery. And notice here what she said. Jocasta to her servant, quickly go to your master, tell him this. You prophecies of the gods, where are you now? You can see here Jocasta is mocking, to some extent, she is mocking in a way. The gods say, you said you made sure, or you said completely, in a really positive way, that Oedipus is going to kill his father. Now we know that this is not true. So the tone Jocasta here is using is really a tone of mockery and a tone of sarcasm against the gods. When she says, you prophecies of the gods, where are you now? This is the man that Oedipus feared for years. He fled him not to kill him, and now he's dead, quite by chance, a normal, natural death, and not murdered by his son. So you see here, as I said, Jocasta now is saying this in mockery, to say, well, now we know that Oedipus's father is dead, natural death, and he did not kill him. Oedipus entering from the palace. Dearest, what now? Why call me from the palace? Jocasta bringing the messenger closer. Listen to him. See for yourself what all those awful prophecies of God have come to. You see, Jocasta still mocking the prophecies, saying, you know, these gods are terrible. They have said something, and this is not true. Oedipus, he, your father. How? Murder? Sickness? What? What killed him? Messenger, a tight lip of the scales can put old bones to rest. A light tip of the scales can put old bones to rest. Sickness then, poor man, it wore him now down. Messenger, that and the long count of years he had measured out. So Jocasta, why look for the prophet's hearth, the fires of the future? Why can scan the birds that scream above our heads? They winged me on the murder of my father, did they? That was my doom. That was my doom. Well, look, he's dead and buried, hidden under the earth. And here I am in Thebes. I never put hand to sword. Unless some longing for me wanted him away, then in a sense you would say I caused his death. But now all those prophecies I feared, Oedipus packs them all off to sleep with him in hell. They are nothing, worthless. You see again, so both really here, both Jocasta and Oedipus, happy to know that Oedipus is dead, thinking that Oedipus is his real father. But you know, Oedipus is not his father, is not his father. He has adopted him when he was a baby from the shepherd who brought him from the other shepherd, right? So really, this is the crazy thing about it. And of course, for the time being, they have no idea. So here now, again, Jocasta again said, fear, what should a man fear? What should a man fear? It's all chance. Chance rules our lives. Yeah, now I think this is true. Yeah, it's our luck. And yes, what can we do about chance and about, you know, to run away from our fate? Really, she wants to say here, Jocasta is saying here, truly, that nobody can run away from his fate. Not a man on earth can see a day ahead. Groping through the dark, better to live at random, best we can, best we can. And really, this is true. Really, this is true, that at least I think we say this. We say, thank God we don't know when we are going to die. You know, it's good that we don't know when we are going to die. If you really know that you're going to die after so many years, for example, on a certain date, you'll be always sick and miserable and thinking of that date. But because you don't know, it's better. You know, that's really what she's saying. Not a man on earth can see a day ahead, groping through the dark. Better to live at random, best we can. It's better not to know. And I think this is true. And as for this marriage with your mother, have no fear. Many a man before you in his dreams has shared his mother's bed. Take such things for shadows, nothing at all. Live, Oedipus, as if there's no tomorrow. Oh, really? Well, this is really strange and amazing. And I think this is, this is one of the questions that Freudian psychology really depended on this idea. She said, if you are worried about your mother, don't worry about your mother. She wants to say here, she said, people in dreams, they have funny, terrible dreams. And she's saying, well, many men dream of sharing, he said, of sharing their mother's bed. I don't know, really, this is terrible to say, but, that's what she's saying here. And I think, this is what, Greek society and mythology and Freud, because Freudian psychology built on this a lot. And I don't know, really, this is to us, I think this is crazy, And she's saying to him, well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just live today and don't think about tomorrow. Of course, for Oedipus, this is impossible. He said, brave words. You would persuade me if mother were not alive. But mother lives. So for all your reassurances, I live in fear, I must. You see, Oedipus really sometimes when he's quiet, he is very sensible. He is very wise and sensible. He said, yeah, what you are saying is easy. Your words are brave words. You're saying, yeah, maybe it's easy for you to say this. But how can I be, at rest when I know that my mother is still alive? I must be always terrified that maybe, one day I could be, I meet her or whatever. This is really the idea here. And I think this is the tragedy here when Jocasta is saying to him, oh, don't worry. Again, notice she said, but your father's death, that at least is a great blessing, joy to the eyes. And of course, he's saying again, for the messenger, he's saying something more. Notice here, they were saying, notice, Jocasta, Oedipus, great, I know, but I fear her. She's still alive. Wait, messenger, wait. Who is this woman makes you so afraid? Now he's going to tell him. Oedipus, Merope, old man, the wife of Pelops, the queen. What is there to fear in her? Oedipus, a dreadful prophecy, stranger, sent by the gods. Tell me, could you, unless it's forbidden other ears to hear? Not at all. Apollo told me once, and now here Oedipus again is repeating his story. Again he said, Apollo told me once, it is my fate. I must make love with my own mother, shed my father's blood with my own hands. So for years I have given Corinth a wide berth. And it's been my good fortune too. But still to see one's parents and look into their eyes is the greatest joy I know. Messenger, you are afraid of that? That kept you out of Corinth? Oedipus, my father, old man, so I wouldn't kill my father. Messenger, so that is it? Well then, seeing I came with such goodwill, my king, why don't I rid you of that old worry now? So now the messenger is going to say to him, well, don't worry. That man that king and queen, really, they were not your parents. which is now even a terrible news. Oedipus, what a rich reward you would have for that. Messenger, what do you think I came for, Majesty? So you would come home and I would be better off. I will never go near my parents. My boy, it's clear you don't know what you are doing. What do you mean, old man? For God's sake, explain. If you ran from them, always dodging home, Oedipus, always terrified Apollo's oracle might come true. Messenger, and you would be covered with guilt from both your parents. That's right, old man. That fear is always with me. Don't you know, you have really nothing to fear. Oedipus, but why? If I am their son, Merope Polypus? Messenger, Polypus was nothing to you, that's why not in blood. What are you saying? Polypus was not my father? No more than I am. He and I are equals. Messenger, my father, how can my father equal nothing? You are nothing to me. Neither was he, no more father than I am. Then why did he call me his son? Messenger, you were a gift years ago. Know for a fact, he took you from my hands. Oedipus, no, from another's hands? Then how could he love me? Messenger, true. This early down the woody flanks of Mount Cithaeron. Oedipus, so close, so close. What were you doing here? Just passing through? Messenger, watching over my flocks, grazing them on the slopes. Oedipus, a herdsman were you? A vagabond scraping for wages? Messenger, your savior too, my son, in your worst hour. Oedipus, oh, when you picked me up, was I in pain? What exactly? Messenger, your ankles, they tell the story. Look at them. Oedipus, why remind me of that old affliction? Your ankles were pinned together, I set you free. That's dreadful, Mark. I've had it from the cradle. Messenger again, and you got your name from that misfortune too. The name is still with you. You know, I told you, really here, the note in Greek, the name Oedipus suggests swollen feet or swollen foot. And really, this is again here, Oedipus is getting really, you know, angry again. Oedipus, dear God, who did it? Mother, father, tell me. I don't know. The one who gave you to me, he would know more. What? You took me from someone else? You didn't find me yourself? No, sir. Another shepherd passed you on to me. Anyway, you know, I'm sure you have you've read even if you watch the film, this was very clear there. And I think this is really the tragedy about the whole thing. And they waited for the other messenger to arrive. And, you know, the other messenger said the same thing. and Oedipus was absolutely mad about it. You know, and notice here notice Oedipus here saying, I'm reading here on the next page, page 421. Notice, let it burst, whatever will, whatever must. I must know my birth, no matter how common it may be. I must see my origins face to face, my origins face to face. She with her woman's pride may well be mortified by my birth, but I count myself the son of chance, the great goddess, giver of all good things. I will never see myself disgraced. She is my mother, and the moons have marked me out, my blood brothers. One moon on the wane, the next moon great with power. That's my blood, my nature. I will never betray it, never fail to reach and learn my birth. And, you know, here, of course, the chorus, you know, again is telling more details about the story. And Oedipus, the messenger here came, the next messenger, the real messenger, who was the real messenger, who really witnessed his, if you like, who gave the baby to the other shepherd, and he was of course the shepherd to King Laius, and now and he was also the man who witnessed the killing, and now he has just now, notice here, he arrived here. I know him definitely, one of Laius's men, a trusty shepherd, if there ever was one. You ask? Yes, I ask you first, stranger. You from Corinth, is this the one you mean? Messenger, you are looking at him. He is your man. Again here, I think this is a very strong confrontation between the two shepherds to identify themselves, to say that you were the one who gave me. And I think it was very clear in the film as well. The film I sent you, this conversation really was very clear between the two shepherds. Notice here what, you know, they were saying here. Notice Oedipus to the shepherd, you old man, come over here. Look at me. Answer all my questions. Did you ever serve King Laius? Shepherd, so I did. A slave, not bought on the block though, born and reared in the palace. Your duties, your kind of work, herding the flocks, the better part of my life. You know, herding as a shepherd, you know, attending the sheep and the flocks. Where, mostly, where did you do your grazing? Shepherd, well, thither on sometimes, or the foothills roundabout. Oedipus, this man, you know him? Ever see him there? Shepherd, confused, glancing from the messenger to the king. Doing what? What man do you mean? Oedipus, pointing to the messenger. This one here, ever have dealings with him? Shepherd, not so I could say, but give me a chance. My memory is bad. Messenger, no wonder he doesn't know me master, but let me refresh his memory for him. I'm sure he recalls old times we had on the slopes of Mount Ciceron. He and I grazing our flocks, he with two and I with one. We both struck up together, 3 whole seasons, 6 months at a stretch, from spring to spring in Acterons in the fall, and the winter coming on, I'll drive my herds to my own pens, and back he would go with his own to Lysa's folds. Now that's how it was, wasn't it? Yes or no? Yes, I suppose. It's all so long ago. Come, tell me, you gave me a child back then, a boy, remember? A little fellow to rear, my very own. What? What rake up that again? sorry, why? Not what? Why rake up? You know, the word rake here really as if you are digging something buried. Why are you uncovering things again? Why rake up that again? Look here, he is my fine old friend, Look, here he is, my fine old friend, the same man who was just a baby then. So he's saying to him, look at him now, he's king, look at him. Damn you, shut your mouth, quiet. Oedipus, don't lash out at him, old man. You need lashing more than he does. Why, Master, Majesty, what have I done wrong? You won't answer this question about the boy. He's talking nonsense, wasting his breath. So you won't talk willingly, then you will talk with pain. The dialogue went on, and of course, he told him, yes, it was you, the baby that the old man, gave you. And, this is, of course, he's saying to him again, asking him, whose house? Where did you get the baby? Notice, whose house? No, God's sake, master, no more questions. You are dead man if I have to ask again. Then the child came from the house of Laius. A slave or born of his own blood? Shepherd, oh no, I'm right at the edge. The horrible truth, I've got to say it. Oedipus, and I am at the edge of hearing horrors. Yes, but I must hear it. All right. His son, they said it was, his son. But the one inside, your wife, she would tell it best. My wife? She gave it to you? Yes, my king. What? Why? What for? It's mother to mother, living creatures with the very son she had born, or how she wept, mourning the marriage bed where she let loose that double-browed monsters, husband by her husband, children by her child, and then, but how she died as more than I can say. Suddenly, Oedipus burst in, screaming. He stunned us so we couldn't watch, and he goes on and on, really in an amazing, long speech. Notice here, give him a sword. Remember, this is, as you can see, really a long speech, as you can see here, by, of course, Oedipus himself. as if he is really using different voices, if you like. Notice, give him a sword. His wife, no wife, his mother. Where can he find the Mother Earth that cropped two crops at once, himself and all his children? He was raging, one of the dark powers pointing the way, none of us mortals crowding around him. No, with a great shattering cry, someone, something leading him on, he hurled at the twin doors and bending the bolts back off their sockets, crashed through the chamber. And there we saw the woman hanging by the neck, cold, cradled high in a woven noose, spinning. You know, again, as you can see, really, it's a long, really amazing speech that, you know, they see the queen hanging herself, and she killed herself because of now she knows for good that the crime had, you know, happened. And Oedipus went on and on again with this really message. Notice on the next page here. He is shuddering. Loose the bolts. Someone show me to all of Thebes, my father's murderer. You know, this is again the messenger. You know, saying this about him again. Repeated, it's unholy. Now he will tear himself from his native earth. No longer curse the house with his own curse, but he needs strength and a guide to lead him on. This is sickness more than he can bear. And the palace doors open. Look, he will show you himself. The great doors are opening. You are about to see a sight, a horror, even his mortal enemy would pity. Enter Oedipus, blinded, led by a boy. He stands at the palace steps, as if surveying his people once again. Oh, the terror, the suffering, for all the world would be, for all the world to see me, the world. The worst terror, my eyes, but I can't bear to look. I have much to ask, so much to learn, so much fascinates my eyes. But you, I shudder at the sight. Oh, the agony, you know, again, really, the chorus and Oedipus, you can see the chorus even, I read this maybe as Oedipus, but you see, you know, the whole scene really is terrible. Oedipus, again, notice he said, I am agony, the agony, I am agony. Where am I going? Where on earth? Where does all this agony hurl me? Where is my voice? Ringing, swept away on a dark tide. My destiny, my dark power, what a leap you made. Again, look what he said again, the next speech. Dark, horror of darkness, my darkness, drowning, swirling around me, crashing wave on wave, unspeakable, irresistible, headwind, fatal harbor. Oh, again, the misery, all at once, over and over, the stabbing daggers, stab of memory, racking my insane. Yeah. So really, it's a final, as you can see here, really is a terrible speech when now he knows what happened, and he speaks to to Crayon, telling him to look after the palace and to become king after him. What he said here, as you, I command you, I beg you to give your own last rites. As for me, never condemn the city of my fathers, to whom my body, not while I am alive, no. Let me live on the mountains, on Sidran, my favorite haunt. I have made it famous. Mother and father marked out that rock to be my everlasting tomb, buried alive. Let me die there where they tried to kill me. Here really Oedipus, in a very sad way, saying these things, saying, I want to go, because that's what happened. He went to the mountains and he died there, because he's saying, I want to go there because my parents originally sent me as a baby to die there, but I did not die, but now I'm going. But notice, oh, but this I know. Oh, but this I know. No sickness can destroy me. Nothing can. I would never have been saved from death. I have been saved for something great and terrible, something strange. Well, my destiny come and take me on its way. About my children, Crayon, the boys at least, don't burden yourself. They are men. Wherever they go, they will find the means to live. But my two daughters, my poor helpless girls, clustering at our table, never without me, hovering near them. Whatever I touched, they always had their share. Take care of them, I beg you. Wait, better permit me, would you? Just to touch them with my hands and take our fill of tears. Please, my king, granted. It's a shame, really. It's a very funny last wish that he wants to, touch his girls before he leaves. And, Crayon said to him, you better go from here because you are no longer the king in this place. I am the king. And here really a very terrible speech by Oedipus, speaking to his girls and to to Crayon. Bless you, Crayon. May God watch over you for his kindness, better than he ever guarded me. Children, where are you? Here, come quickly. Come to these hands of mine, your brother's hands, your own father's hands, that served his once bright eyes so well, that made them blind. He's saying, come to my hands, the same hands through which I see, and the same hands with which I killed. Or I took out my... Come to me, I'm your brother, and I'm your father. I fathered you in the soil that gave me life. I think this is repeated in a terrible way again. again and again. Notice, how I wept for you, I can't see you now. Just thinking of all your days to come, the bitterness, the life that rough mankind will first thrust upon you. Where are you? Where are the public gathering you can join of banquets of the clans? Home you will come in tears, cut off from the rites, the sight of it all, the brilliant rites unfinished. And when you reach perfection, ripe for marriage, who will he be? Who will he be, my dear ones? Risking all the risking all my parents, mother, one, and the self-same womb sprang you. He cropped the very roots of his existence. Such disgrace, and you must fear it all. Who will marry you then? Not a man on earth. Your doom is clear. You will wither away to nothing, single, without a child. And now turning to Crayon to say the last thing, and Crayon said to him, enough, enough. You have wept enough. Into the palace now. Oedipus, I must, but I at the end of the day, you can give you that. Surely the gods hate me so much. You will get your wishes at once. And of course, at the end of the day here, you know, he went and the chorus said the last speech, as you can see. You know, Crayon said to him at the end, still the king, the master of all things? No, no more. Here your power ends. None of your power follows you through life. Exit Oedipus and Crayon to the palace. The chorus comes forward to address the audience directly. People of Thebes, my countrymen, look on Oedipus. He solved the famous riddle with his brilliance. He rose to power, a man beyond all power. Who could behold his greatness without envy? Now, what a black sea of terror has overwhelmed him. Now, as we keep our watch and wait the final day, count no man happy till he dies, free of pain at last, free of pain at last. And that's it. Yeah. And I think this is the idea. You know, he's saying, we thought of him as very intelligent. He is the man who solved the famous riddle. He was so brilliant. He was so wise. He was so powerful. But yet, he could not think enough not to kill his father, to kill any old man who might be his father, or to kill and to marry an older woman who could be his mother. And of course, the idea of fate here, I said, who would not envy him? And, you know, the last line really, don't ever count things till the last day, really. And now he's saying here the terror, and, you know, he said, keep your watch and wait for the final day. So you can say, yeah, I had a happy life and I'm dying happily. You know? So really, this is the idea. And I think we always say this, people should worry always about their endings, you know, the last days. And we say all the time, we say in Arabic, we always say it, you know, about your last days, you know. Okay, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the play for us, and I think we have said enough about it. Now, in the exam, boys and girls, you will have these two plays, and I will check. I will give you. I will. Yeah. I will give you the example of the exam. Now, in the exam, you will have an essay, one question. Just a second. Okay, are you still listening, boys and girls? Hello?
Yes, doctor, we're listening.
Okay, now the first question will be a quotation. You will have 3 questions in the exam. The first question is a quotation from one play. You have 2 plays, Isle and Oedipus. One quotation to analyze, like in the last exam. One question about a poem, one poem, and I will specify the poems for you now. Please mark these carefully. So the question will be about the poem in general, to really talk about it, to summarize it, to maybe analyze it, to give your own commentary and understanding of the poem. So I'll give you 3 or 4 poems, and that's it. So the first one, I'll start from the last ones. Dover Beach, number 1. The Flea, number 3. Number 2. Okay. Dover Beach, Arnold. The Flea, John Donne. Let me see. My Last Duchess, Robert Browning. And Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Okay. So 4 poems. Only 4. 1, Dover Beach, number 1, Donne, The Flea, and what's the other one we said? Yeah, My Last Duchess, Browning, and Mending Wall, Robert Frost. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
And the last question is an essay which will cover the last question, which is an essay which will cover, the two plays. Could be one play, could be the two together. One question as the essay question, and I say an essay format, and the exam, I will give you 3 hours. 3 hours exam. Okay? Any more questions? Any ideas? Anything?
So far, so good.
Okay, so I will stop recording so people will